Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iamrome Gaming. Hope you enjoyed this video today, and it's a story from my past today, and it's quite an interesting one. A few people have probably gone through this type of problems before. I've been through it 5 times, and it's about bullying. Okay, we had a vote, and you lot all voted with a majority of 2 votes, with a majority of with 9 votes to 6 votes for this one. The stories of when I was bullied. Alright, now if you're ever bullied, tell someone, alright? Don't keep it locked up. Don't not tell anyone, because that's just being silly. You should always tell someone if you're being bullied. It's quite important, because no one can help you otherwise, and bullying unfortunately leads to other things. If it's physical, it can be quite painful, and you can end up in some pretty nasty situations, and then if it's mental, it's not good for you. Yeah, so if you do suffer with bullying, and yeah, I recommend just going, seeing someone, counsellor, principal, teacher, anyone, your mum and dad, go and tell them. Alright, no matter what circumstance it is, it may be something silly, it may be something major that started all this, so just go and tell them. Don't panic, because no one's going to judge you. Unless it's like, well, no one's going to judge you, because no one should go through it. Anyway, so I've got 2 stories for you today. I will make them as brief and as quick though as possible, with all the details spared, not spared. So the first one takes place when I was in year 8, okay? And this was an incident. This wasn't technically bullying. I guess in a funny way, you could class it as banter, in fact, as a joke. So what happened was, I was in school, year 8, and so what happened was, it was lunchtime, and there was an event, a school event going on. It was meant to be an auction or something, I believe, and yeah, so school auctions involve money, and this was also the first time I had a phone in this year group, right? So a proper phone, a touchscreen phone, none of this nonsense of the old-fashioned flip-up phones, a screen phone that you can tap and take notes on, and a note thing. It wasn't anything fancy. I think it was a very small phone, but it was my first touchscreen phone anyway. And your first touchscreen phone's like, God, what was it? Oh, it might have been a Samsung actually. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, it was my proper first phone that I enjoyed and loved for a 12-year-old. Right, because about a 12-year-old, or maybe I was 13. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. Anyway. So what happened was, okay, I went to this auction. I asked a friend of mine that I thought I could trust, and I did trust him for this afterwards, that I thought he could look after my bag. Now, you know, we do it all the time. You leave possessions, you ask sometimes you can ask people, because it was in the tutor base, and you know, you're like, well, it's in the tutor base, it's gonna be safe anyway. But I just wanted an extra friend just to keep an eye on it, and you know, and I asked my mate, and he said, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. Alright. Excuse me, sorry, nasty cough. I asked him, and he said, yeah, I'll do it, I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah. Alright. I come back from this event, and I couldn't find it, so I thought I'll just head back to the tutor base and chill the last 10 minutes or so I've got of lunchtime left. So I chill, so I go over to my tutor base, and it was a bit where you how can I put it, there's a ramp, so yeah, a ramp, and they were right on the ramp, and they go to me, they say, Luke, there's 2 people messing around with there's a few people messing around with something to do with your bag. So my natural reaction was like, oh, what did they have to then? Type thing. And you know, it's just like, why are people messing around with my bag? So I go over to my bag, and as I entered the room, there was about 8, maybe 9, possibly 10 of them on the side of my bag, like on the side of the room, messing around with something. I couldn't see what it was, but it was a very small object, and my phone was quite small, and I knew it was electronical because someone was pressing buttons. So I knew it was electronical, and I knew it was something to do, probably from my bag. But when I went over, they hid it in my pocket. So I was like, what have they hid then? What is it? So I go over, and I couldn't find anything. Well, I couldn't find my phone. So, because I couldn't find my phone, I started to panic. So I was like, I go over to the boys and I go, right, I don't know what you've been doing. You got 10 seconds to put whatever that is in my bag, and you know, before, otherwise I'm going to end up telling the teacher, and you know, be an act of theft. So I go over, leave the room for 10 seconds, right? Because I was like, I need to go and just get some fresh air as well. So I go over to get the fresh air and wait and just to, you know, see if anything actually happens. I come back and they were no longer, they were all gathered in the side of the room again, but they were acting natural. You know that, like your comedy, right, whispering and there's just like whistling in the corner. They were doing that, just whistling, hands in their pockets, whistling and talking about, I think it was football or something. I knew it was put on because as soon as I walked in, they changed the subject for something else. So I was like, yeah, they're up to something. So I go over to check my phone. Alright. So they had decided, later on I found out this, they decided to put on an alarm on my phone. And my phone was always turned off, thankfully. But you know, sometimes apparently there's a system where they can go off when your phone's turned off, which I didn't know about. It never went off in the class, by the way. It never actually went off, and it never went off. But if it did, it would have gone off during maths, and maths was a very scary subject for me. One, because I am rubbish at maths. I've got dyscalculus, and if you don't know what dyscalculus is, along with my dyslexia, is number jumbling. It's dyslexia for the numbers, and I was just like, oh no. They set this off to go in maths. And the teacher as well. The teacher was a kind person, but he hated things naturally disrupting his lesson. He hated it. He didn't like it. He wasn't a fan of it. Which is fair enough. I'd be afraid if someone kept interrupting my videos every time. So, obviously, I was just like, they planned it to go off in maths. Oh no, was my reaction. So obviously I turned it off, because I was like, I checked everything. I made sure the alarms were off. I made sure the phone was generally switched off. I was tempted to take out the battery as well, because I was like, they've obviously done something to mess around with it. And the rest of the day went on, and I got home. My mum was home from work at this point. When I got home, unfortunately, I cried. I got to the door, I knocked on the door, and then I was just like, I thought about it, and I was just like, someone's tried to mess with my property here. That's not alright. That's technically bullying. And they phoned at the school. We never found out what happened, but I knew it was them. Unfortunately, I knew it was them. And I'd done the sensible thing of telling people about it, telling my mum about it, and telling them what happened. And they sorted it, alright? So that's what happens when you do tell people. It gets sorted. The incident gets sorted. Now I'm going to tell you about an incident that happens when you don't tell anyone. Okay? So I was in year 9. And, you know, dodgy stuff goes on in year 9. Because everyone's just like, I don't really need to focus yet. I just got to pick me options. And then I have to kind of focus. Because it affects me for the rest of my life type mood. So, my mate had organised, you know, said there's a dodgeball team going on. So you want to join the dodgeball team? Because there was a mini tournament, you had teams of 5, and he picked 4 people who were like, yeah, I know them. And then, no, sorry, 3 people who were, yeah, I know them, that's fine. And then he picked the 5th person, who was a complete and utter asshole at the time. And you'll get to why he's an asshole in a minute. Alright. So, he wasn't particularly nice. And I've never met him before at this point.